So, hello from YouTube. Hello, it's me. Hello, I see everything. That's right, I'm talking about you Mr. Harold Crumb 20. Are you really that blind and deaf? And you will not back down because you are wrong. You're expecting me to give up on you? You're expecting me to not coming back? Why? Because you ain't winning a fight, which you are wrong. Okay, so you guys probably wondering it is. Go on to these 3 videos. So that's Piss Off an Audi Driver 101, Who is a shithole, and Motorbike Snobs videos, and you will see, I'm not kidding, hundreds, alright, not hundreds, but you're getting that way. At least 20 comments on each one from Mr. Harold Crumb. Right. So we'll start off with the very start, which is on, say, he was often by saying I was driving dangerously in my fucking Motorbike Snobs video, saying my bike needs a service. This one. Saying saying that I am the reason why drivers insurance. Drivers? I'm on a motorbike. I ride a fucking motorbike. You don't drive it, you And the reason why drivers insurance is so high. I'm the reason why bike insurance is so high. So what bike do you drive? Doesn't answer. Why am I driving dangerously? Doesn't answer. Says I got loads of money to spend on all these bikes and cameras. Yeah. What? Really? None of the bikes I've ever owned have cost more than £1,000. And I have one camera. Hundreds of cameras to you. Now that's safe. By this man. And not that, that's just... Seriously, you can see him from a mile off. And that's why I respect being able to see a driver. But then Mr. Harold Crumb goes on saying about how I drive erratically and how I stay on people's arses like that guy ahead then did because he went to them to overtake some cars, which I'll do now as well. And look, I'm driving on the opposite side of the road, just. Oh wait, there's a I can get through it, Mr. Harold Crumb. Oh wait, yes, that's right. Filtering is legal. He also claims that I was driving dangerously in my cruiser video. Okay. And basically at 0:45 seconds he says I overtook a car on the wrong side of the road. A fucking dual carriageway. There's 3 lanes. There's like 2 here and a bus lane. And then if you notice, about 10 seconds later, there's a car oncoming that side over the hedge, or is that just a ghost? Might be just a ghost car. Maybe there is oncoming cars in the wrong lane with arrows pointing this way in the same lane. See what I mean? You're blind. Go to Specsavers. He says he claims to I ride dangerously in a so-called place I call Crew. And then later says I ride that road every single day. I ride that road every weekday. So hang on one sec. You don't... This place is called so-called Crew, but yet you ride through it every day. Eventually Mr. Harold Crumb does answer my question to what motorbike does he have? And he lies. I certainly think he does anyway. Because no one in their right mind with a Honda CBR 1000 would make such a fuss about me overtaking a car, right, doing 2 miles an hour more over the speed limit. Or shall I also say, how about we had another twist to it. No one in a right mind would ride a CBR 1000 and not filter traffic whatsoever. Because seriously, for that not to be dangerous, you wouldn't have to be filtering at all, really. Filtering is legal, Mr. Harold Crumb. Oh, and one thing, you're wrong about dual carriageways. You really are. You don't know what a dual carriageway is. I asked you what one is. Actually, no, I didn't. You told me what one is, because apparently I'm wrong. You said a dual carriageway is where you got 2 lanes. You said it's a road with 2 lanes on each side. It isn't! A dual carriageway can have 1 lane each side. 1 lane between... And the actual word dual carriageway means 2 roads. Dual! 2 roads! Separate! It has to be separated for it to be a dual carriageway. It has to have some form of an island. It's got to have an island with a barrier. For it to be a dual carriageway. It can have 1 lane, it can have 72 lanes if it wants to. It can have 1 lane one side and 72 on the other. It's still a dual carriageway if it's got a barrier. It is not a dual carriageway if there's 72 lanes for one side and 2 lanes for the other side and no barrier. It is still a single carriageway. So there you are, you're still wrong, Mr. Harold Crumb. You do not know how to drive the road. Honestly, guys, right, you may not know me, but I am pretty tolerant with most people. There are very, very, very few people in my life or I've ever come across on TV or whatever, that annoy me. For some it's a lot. For others like me, it's very few. In fact, I can actually count the amount of people on one hand that annoy me in my life than the ones that really tick me off. And one of them is Mr. Harold Crumb. I can honestly say I have not come across a more bigger than him. I can't believe he's complaining about my speeding, which isn't speeding. I can't believe he's saying that I'm sitting on someone's arse. You want to see this? This is me. Apparently, this is me sitting on someone's arse. Or is this it, guys? I think you'll find this is sitting on someone's arse. Mr. Harold Crumb. You really do not know how to drive. You apparently supposed to be deaf. You're also apparently to be really, really blind. You have a Honda CBR 1000, which makes the fact that you're probably 40 years old. Now, hopefully you should have a wife and kids, but if you're too busy complaining about my riding, you probably have them. Mr. Harold Crumb also says that I moan and bitch like a ignorant teenager. Well, for one, I'm not a teenager. I'm 21, Mr. Harold Crumb. Two, I'm moaning and bitching, and it's like you're saying that you don't moan and bitch. Well, you do about everything I do, and I don't moan and bitch all the time. I'm just moaning and bitching about you right now. I'm moaning and bitch about the things that don't make sense, as in, really, like, this is hooky the you know, doesn't make sense things. Oh, and here's one other thing, Mr. Harold Crumb, which I don't do. I don't go out onto people's videos and criticise about whether it's their riding, their voice, their fucking topic. Right, if I don't like the topic they're on about, I just click off it. I don't do anything. I don't even click dislike sometimes. In fact, most of the time I don't click dislike. Unless, of course, it's someone who said, this is Gangnam Style and it's really just a 2-minute video of a pet ball drying. Then I'll click dislike. How dare you waste my life? How dare you trick me? What I love is the fact that some person clicked like. Oh, f***ing sad. It is so pathetic. One person clicked like in the several days. It went on the Motorbike Snobs video. It went from 2 likes to 1 dislike, because 1 dislike was from him, to 3 likes and 1 dislike. And he said, oh my god, so you went onto another one of your accounts and you could lag on your video. Okay, Mr. Harold Crumb, I do have another YouTube account, but it hasn't been logged in for about 5 months. Second of all, I am not that stupidly sad to go and press like on my videos. I have 111 whatever subscribers, right? I'm pretty sure it's one of them. This is where it really takes a it's the fact that he doesn't know. He's like, one of my subscribers, JD, I'm giving a thumbs up for you because you're standing by what you think is right. And you're right, JD, he is obsessed. I mean, come on, he was the only one who came back to my video and said, oh my god, it's got 3 likes now! Oh my god, someone clicked like on your video and it was you! It was you, Mr. Bike Rocker Boy! You went onto another YouTube account! He is stalking my videos. He is obsessed with me for some reason. He's obsessed with how I ride. Honestly, how can this video go on for so long that I'm nearly home? How pissed off am I that I'm nearly home and I'm still talking about Harold Crumb? Hey? Oh yeah, I'm JD. Apparently he didn't call you a pedo, he called you a pedder. Okay, for one, ped is not even a term. 2, if it is, he's just presuming that you got a moped. He's presuming that you're young and you don't know all. He's presuming all that. We don't know. I don't know how old JD is. I don't know whether he's got a moped or whether they've got a moped or whatever. He presumes things. apparently he also called him a nerd. Mr. Harold Crumb called him a nerd. What the f*** is wrong with Harold Crumb? If you called him a pedo, right, that's a step too far. Calling him a pedo is just as bad because you're presuming something that he may or may not be. You don't know him. Oh, and finally you call me a perv, Mr. Harold Crumb. I'll just turn around and say this. All men are pervs. Including you. I think this guy's looking to turn somewhere. Yeah, I did look in his mirror and it was like, not there. Right. Yeah, you call me a perv. Now I don't mind it from my mates. But for some randomer like you, some imbecile, some arrogant, ignorant, up his own arse who thinks the whole world should revolve around him. Oh, Harold Crumb. Calling me a perv. You don't know me. You presume things. You presume that I'm young. You presume that all my bikes were bought from benefits, apparently. But even if they were, right? Let's say if they were bought from benefits. 1, they're not expensive bikes. 2, they're cheap to run. 3, they get me to work. That's the whole point of a motorbike. That's the whole point why I had a motorbike for 4 years before I even had a car. I couldn't afford a car because no one would give me a job. I've had summer jobs, believe it or not, I've had a summer job in the same mill. But I had for the first 2 years ongoing. Then I didn't have any work for the next year. It didn't really matter anyway. I was in college, not claiming for benefits. Right, and when I did finish college, there was then work, so I then worked for another 3 months. I earned $3,000 into 12 weeks, doing 60 hours overtime a week. And now, I'm in a job. I'm in a job now, right? I went for 8 months, not having one single interview, pressing send after send CV on the bloody Universal Job Seekers website. Not getting one single apply. I applied jobs over the phone, which is apparently actually how I got this one. I actually applied for I think I applied for fruit washing or whatever it was, picking, back in February, and then 3 months later they rang me back and sort of said, do you want to go work in a meat factory? Alright. But it's the fact that I'm young. Not that young anymore. Fucking everything's downhill now, I'm 21. It's the fact that I'm young. It's the fact that so you think I'm young, so therefore you think I'm unemployed. Right? And let me get this straight, right? Back to the job seekers thing, right? Job seekers is 56 quid a week, Mr. Harold Crumb, in case you didn't know, which you probably don't, because you've probably never been on job seekers, and good for you. But some of us don't have it that easy. We really don't. So when we do got our job, we work. I don't like my job, but I'm keeping it for now. After all, it's 56 quid a week. Let me put it this way. That runs... Does it really matter how I spend that money? It's 56 quid. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. And I only drink a weekend, and even then it's only 15 quid. Or shall I rephrase that again? I can drink more now I've got a job. But yeah, I save my job seekers money just for the bikes, just for putting 10 quid's worth of petrol in. just for to pay the insurance, just to put them through MOTs, just to service them. I service these bikes. Harold Crumb. Like I said, you're deaf, because this bike runs perfectly. It still does its own top speed, it still does its original fuel economy. So if you're getting that, it's clearly running correctly. Let's put it this way, the top speed on this was a lot lower before I had the carburetor cleaned. That's right. The carburetor was cleaned just maybe 400 miles ago. And now it runs better. The choke was sticking on. And I got black soot all over through my exhaust. It was running rich. All the time. I really cannot believe you're still going on with this. I really cannot believe, Harold Crumb, that when you told me that I was being dangerous, and where I was being, eventually you answered on my motorbike snobs video where I was being dangerous. You said that I'd been dangerous after 0.45 seconds. Which actually at 0.45 seconds, I wasn't, I was actually just going along. Following the car ahead at the same speed. Through the traffic lights which are on green. And that is the safest method. The safest method of driving is to keep up with traffic. Leave a gap too big and be slower, and people will take that chance. At the traffic lights, you must, if you are following the car, and don't forget it's my right of way anyway, at those lights, they were green for me. And there was a car turning, waiting to turn, and I was following the car ahead at the same speed, with the same distance, about this distance anyway, through him. Let's put it this way, if the car decided to then pull across, instead of turning, and I went to the side of it, it would have been his fault because I had my lights on. You can't see me because I wear blue. I wear blue and silver rather than black. And of course there was obviously a car there beforehand, so it means he wasn't looking properly had he pulled out. If I'd gone any slower, that gap would have been increased. And what it meant is that Mr. Harold, come and listen to me when I say this. You probably need to go search up how to drive a lot more advanced. Because, let me get this straight. In London, apparently, and this is what I've been told, and it's quite famous actually, is that when you actually are learning to drive, you actually are taught advanced. In other words, you actually are taught to keep up with the traffic ahead, no matter what speed they're doing. It's like anything. When you're waiting to cross, when a person's waiting to cross, they'll cross when the final car's passed. Right, so Mr. Harold Crumb, I bid you good day. Leave me the alone or I was going to block you on YouTube. Stop stalking me. I'm getting sick of this. I ask you time and time again, point out where I'm being a 2 on their arse. 2 on the car's arse, and you can't. So instead you point out I was speeding. you point out something that's saying I'm dangerous when it's actually completely normal, and bear in mind no one's ever had an accident from doing what I was doing, and also saying that I dangerously overtook a car on an oncoming side of the road, which wasn't where there's cars then coming down that side. Not on this road, but obviously the road in the video. I bid you, Harold Crumb, go get your eyes tested, please, for all of us, before you crash your supposedly CBR 1000 into a tree. Or shall I say, before someone crashes into you, because you're going to be driving so slowly and people off. Goodbye, Harold Crumb. I bid you good day. Da 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 da.